නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Honor to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello everyone, welcome to our Sunday Dhamma Talk series. Today is our Dhamma Talk number 109. Today, in continuing with our Dhammapada, we will talk about the Panditavagga as I promised last week. Yes, last week we were talking about the Balavagga. This week we will talk about the Panditavagga, the 6th chapter of the Dhammapada, the path of the wise. Let's get started with the chanting of the Dhammapada Panditavagga. You can also chant with me. We'll take some time to chant Panditavagga over here. I hope you can read. Let me make this little bit smaller. Okay, right. Okay, I hope you can read it right now. Okay, so here is the summary of the sutta. I will go summary of the Panditavagga. I will go to the beginning of the Panditavagga here. Let us read together. Nidhinang pavattarang yang passe vajja dassinang niggaihavading medhaving tādisang panditang bhaje tādisang bhajamanassa seyo hotina papiyo. Next one. Ovadeyyanusaseya asabhacha nimaraye satang hiso piyo hoti asatang hoti appiyo. Nabhaje papake mitte nabhaje purisadhame bhajetha mitte kalyane bhajetha purisutame. Dhammapiti sukhang seti vipasangnena cetasa ariyappa vedite dhamme sadaramati pandito. Udakang hinayanti nittika usukara namayanti tejanang darung namayanti tachaka attanang damayanti pandita. Selo yatha ekaghano vatena na samirati evang ninda pasangsasu na saminjanti pandita. Yatha pirahado gangbhiro vipasanno anavilo evang dhammani suttvana vipasedanti pandita. Sabbathave sappurisa chajanti nakama kama lapayanti santo sukhena puttha athava dukhena nauchavachang pandita dassayanti. Na atta hetu na parassa hetu na putta michhena dhanang na ratthang Naicheya adhangmena samidhi matano sasilava panyava dhammikosya appakate manusesu ye jana paragamino athayang itarapaja tiramevanu dhavati ye chakho sammadakkhate dhamme dhammanuvattino te jana paramisanti maccudeyang suduttarang kat kanhang dhammang vipahaya sukhang bhavetha pandito oka anukang agam viveke atha duramang tatra bhirati michheya hitva kame akinchano pariyodapeya attanang chittakleshehi pandito ye sang bodhiyangesu samma chittang subhavitang adana pati nissagge anupadaya ye rata khinasava jutimanto te loke parinibbutati. Okay. All right. This is about the Panditavagga of Dhammapada. This Vagga is a really helpful one, a useful one to all of us. And over here, we learned about many things about the Pandita or the wise person. I'd like to start with a background story of one of these verses. The first verse, for example, Nidhinang pavattarang yang passe vajjadasinang niggaihavading medhaving thadisang panditang bhaje. Over here in this Dhammapada verse, the Buddha speaks about the the value of constructive criticism and the importance of associating with wise individuals. This stanza describes a wise person as someone who identifies and corrects faults, comparing them to a treasure revealer. Nidhinang pavattarang, a treasure revealer. This verse suggests that one should seek the company of such individuals because their guidance lead to personal improvement. So, in this context, the 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 terms Vajjadassaving and Niggaihevading refer to those who point out mistakes and offer admonishment with good intention. Sometimes in our life, we need to have such people. There are some people among us that they don't necessarily help us. They um, they don't they don't explain to us, so they don't show us the right way. Maybe when we do something wrong, our good friends should actually tell us, oh, this is not right, this is not good, you have to do this. That should be the intention of a good kalyana mitta. Pandita person will always help us, like showing a treasure to a friend, treasure revealer. And sometimes when you have such people, you have to think of them as treasure revealers. So, such people, even if they admonish us, we need to wholeheartedly accept and be closer to such people because they are the true friends of us. So, this stanza was actually preached by the Buddha when the Buddha was residing at the Jetavana monastery. Okay, so the Buddha recounted the story of monk Radha. This monk was he had once been a poor old Brahmin. Rather, despite his strong desire to become a monk, he was limited to performing small tasks at the monastery. You know, there are some people who helped the temple activities. He was such a humble, simple person. So in exchange of his services, he received food, clothing, and other necessities free of cost. But the monks discouraged him from becoming a monk. And one morning, the Buddha, using his supernormal powers, so this is a habit of the Buddha. He wakes up every single morning and he goes to deep samadhi, what we call Maha Karuna Samapatti Samadhi, with great compassion. And with that samadhi, the Buddha saw the old Brahmin in his vision and recognized that he was ready to attain arahatship. So the Buddha always would look into such people if there is someone to help rescue. So the Buddha approached Radha because he knew this person is a very wonderful man. He is just about to be blossom. He needs just a little bit of push, you know, and so the Buddha could do it. Buddha already, when he goes to deep samadhi, Mahakaruna Samapatti Samadhi, Buddha already does make a case study. He goes to that person's history, and he studies everything, all the details of his habits and his sansaric karmic energy, and whether he is about to be blossomed. He looks into such the details. When he analyzes it, when he investigates such details and explores such details, then the Buddha decides, oh, he's a person that needs some assistance by the Buddha. And so accordingly, the Buddha approached Radha and learned that the monks were not in favor of his, admission to the Sangha. So to address this, the Buddha gathered the monks. There was a Sangha assembly, and he asked if anyone could recall a good deed Radha had done for them. So now Buddha was asking all the monks. Venerable Sariputta responded that he remembered when Radha had offered him a spoonful of rice. So Venerable Sariputta was so grateful and thankful to Radha for his spoonful of rice. The Buddha then urged the monks to assist their benefactor in finding liberation. If he was such a humble person, such a generous person, such a kind-hearted, nice person, why don't we allow him to attain the Nibbana? Maybe by allowing, if he is also willing to join the Sangha, so why don't we allow him to do so? Venerable Sariputta agreed to ordain Radha, who subsequently joined the Sangha. So now Radha is a monk. Venerable Radha now. So when under Venerable Sariputta's guidance, Venerable Sariputta is the foremost um, among the wise monks uh, in the sasana, in this Buddha sasana. So under his guidance, he was so lucky. Venerable Radha was so lucky to have Venerable Sariputta as his spiritual mentor and guide. And Venerable Radha diligently practiced under his guidance, and he soon attained arhatship. When the Buddha visited the monks again, they shared how closely Radha adhered to Venerable Sariputta's instructions. He was so meticulous, so hardworking, and he was working so hard day and night practicing meditation under the guidance of Venerable Sariputta. So the Buddha praised Venerable Sariputta's willingness to accept guidance and his ability to endure criticism without any resentment. You see, the gatha we learned today, Nidhi nang pavattarang yang passe vajja dasinang niggaiha vading medaving thadisang panditang bhaje. So let me show you one more time this sutta, this gatha, so that we can get a better idea. Okay. Uh, all right. Right. I hope you can see now. Share it. Okay. Right. So over here we can see Nidhi nang pavattarang yang passe vajja dassinang niggaihe vading medhaving thadisang panditang bhaje. Thadisang bhajamanasa seyo hotina papiyo. If you find a person who recognizes and points out faults, consider him a treasure. Associating with such a wise individual is always beneficial and never harmful. Such a wonderful, wonderful advice to all of us. Just like Radha, who was diligently listening to those treasure seeking advices, treasure revealing advices by Venerable Sariputta. Radha wanted to practice continuously day and night until he accomplishes his goal. So he was able to attain the enlightenment. This is very important. So we need to see these things when we also meet in our day-to-day life. Okay, can you Shruti, I think, has sent a message. Please click cross on audience window that we can see and read it clearly. Can you read it when I was showing? Just let me know. So what I was trying to say is like when we have such people in our life, like those wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends, we need to be in touch with them. We need to be closely connected to them, so that we can actually practice and go along the path. So the Buddha praised Radha's willingness to accept guidance and his ability to endure criticism without resentment. The Buddha further revealed that in a past life, Venerable Sariputta had been a solitary elephant that had gifted a pure white elephant to the carpenters as gratitude for healing his foot. See, Venerable Sariputta was such a person before when he was an elephant. So, referring to Venerable Radha, the Buddha emphasized that monks should be receptive to discipline and not take offenses when their faults are pointed out. So, that is why this particular gatha the stanza is so important to all of us. It's very, very helpful to all of us. When we have some good, wonderful friends in our life, we need to be in touch with them. There cannot be many in our life to find like wonderful good friends. There could be, but not so wonderful kalyana mitta friends all the time. So we have to think of it very seriously when we do that. Okay, so if we go to the next gatha, I will also explain to you. Okay, let me share with you again. I hope this is clear. Okay, so this is the first stanza, and then we go to the next stanza. Over Deyanu Saseya Asabhacha Nimaraye Satang hi so pyo hoti Asatang hoti appyo. A person who advises, instructs, and dissuades you from wrongdoing is cherished by the virtuous and is not valued by the unvirtuous. Over here again, we find Ovad. Ovad is advice. Over the Anusasana, instructs. So if somebody is giving us some advices and giving us some instructions, asabhacha nivare. Nivare means dissuades or prevents you from doing asabha. Asabhya is the Sanskrit word. Asabha is wrongdoing. If someone is avoiding or dissuading or discouraging you from doing wrong things, and such a person should be cherished by the virtuous. Satang hi so pyo hoti. So he should be a pleasant person. He should be cherished by satang or good kalyana mitta friends. And asatang hoti appiyo. Such a people is not valued by the unvirtuous people. So virtuous people really love to have such people who advises you, who instructs you to avoid you from doing wrong things. But the unvirtuous people probably would not like it. They would not appreciate that. So you need to know where to draw the line. The other one is na bhaje papake mitte na bhaje puri sadame bhajet mitte kalyane bhajet puri suttame. Avoid associating with wicked friends or those who mislead you. Na bhaje papake mitte. We have to be extremely careful about such people. There can be lot many people, friends or fake friends, are there in the world. They are mostly papamitas. Okay, papamitas. Na bhaje puri sadhame. They are not necessarily good people. So they might mislead us. Na bhaje such adhama people. So such low people, we should not associate such people. So papa kamitta, wicked friends, and adhama purisa, those low people who mislead you, such people should be avoided. Na bhaje, such we should not associate such people. Instead, bhajeta mitte kalyane, we should seek the company of good friends, kalyana mitta friends. Bhajeta Purisuttame, Uttama Purisa, excellent people. We should have excellent people and good friends, Kalyana Mitta friends. That is the message of this gatha. Dhamma piti sukhang seti vippasannena chetasa aryapavedite dhamme sada ramati pandito. One who immerses themselves in the Dhamma experiences happiness with a clear mind, continually finding joy in the teachings proclaimed by the noble ones. Dhamma piti means, piti is to like drinks, drinking Dhamma, or Dhamma drinking person, or people who immerse themselves in the Dhamma. Sukhang seti, they can sleep happily. They can experience a happy sleep. Sukhang seti. Vippasannena chetasa. Vippasanna means very clear chetasa mind. They can have a very clear mind. Arya pavedite dhamme. Arya, noble ones. Pavedite, teaching. So they can continually find the joy in the teachings proclaimed by the noble ones. Sada ramati. Sada means always. Ramati, they find happiness, so they like it. Pandito, the wise person. So here the word pandita is used. So the pandita here is the person who likes to have such companies. One who immerses themselves in the Dhamma experiences happiness with a clear mind, continually finding joy in the teachings proclaimed by the wise ones. So this is again another Pandita person. And Udakanghi nayanti nittika usukara damayanti tejana usukara namayanti tejanang darung namayanti tachaka attanang damayanti pandita. Just as aqueducts guide water, fletchers shape arrows, and carpenters work with wood, wise individuals train themselves in self-control. So there are people like that, those skillful people. Udakanghi nayanti nettika. They know how to guide water. So they can bring water from far away places to their target area. And fletchers shape arrows just like that. Those people who are very smart in making an arrow, producing an arrow with such sharpness and precise accuracy, so that the arrow can go far away. They can go directly to the target area. So that depends on the fletcher, the person who makes it. And the carpenters work with wood. We know they can also make wonders. Darung namayanti tachaka. They know how to bend, they know how to cut, and they can shape it up and make it a beautiful wooden piece. So darung namayanti tachaka. Those are the skillful people. Similarly, attanang damayanti pandita. The wise people, the pandita people, knows how to train themselves. They have the self-control. So self-control is something that many of us are lacking. So if you want to be a smart person, if you want to be a skillful person, we can't really succumb to our own lot of greeds and desires. We have to control. We have to be in control. That is the idea here. We have to be in control. The other gatha, selo yatha eka ghano vate nana samirati evang ninda pasang sasu na saminjanti pandita. Beautiful gatha again. Selo yata eka ghano vatena na samirati. Like a solid rock that is not swayed by the wind. You know, Sela is Shaila in Sanskrit. Sela is like a rock. Yatha, just as. Eka ghano, very solid, rock solid. Vatena na samirati. When the wind comes, that rock solid will not be shaken. So, like a solid rock that is not swayed by the wind. Evang ninda pasansasu na saminjanti pandita. Just like that. Ninda pasansa, in both praise and blame, na saminjanti pandita. The wise people will not be moved. So this is a very, very helpful advice. Like in the Ratana Sutta, we know there is a beautiful gatha in the Ratana Sutta too. Chacha Bitana ni, no, what is that? Ratana Sutta, in that it is said, Chatubhi Vate Bhi Asampa Kampyo, right? So, Yathinda Kilo Pataving Sitosya, just like that. In the kilo, like an in the kilo, or a strong pole that is firmly rooted, firmly established on the floor, will not be moved or will not be shaken by the wind that comes from all four corners. Just like that, the arahanta person, the liberated person, the enlightened person will become unshaken, unmoved with all what is happening in the world outside. So just like that, over here it is the same idea, like a solid rock that is not swayed by the wind. The wise person remained unmoved by the praise and the blame. It's very easy that we can be carried away by praise. When somebody praises us, we feel very happy, our ego is appeased and we feel so happy. Oh, everyone is praising me now. Okay. And suddenly, when somebody blames us, somebody criticizes us, somebody spread gossip about us, then we feel to collapse. So the idea here, when we are so excited about good deeds and also so much down with the bad deeds that people talk about us, then praises and blame, that's not a good practice. The good practice is not to be moved by any of these. It's like both. The way you should not be carried away by praises and blames, both. I remember one monk was talking about, like, it is easy that you become happier when other people praise you, but it is hard for you to actually bear the suffering, the agony, when somebody criticizes you, especially when somebody talks behind you, or spread gossips about you. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, you might be completely correct, but people might still spread gossip out of jealousy or whatever. So the idea, the monk was giving a beautiful advice. Okay, when these things can happen, it can happen to you and I. Anyone of us can face such things in this samsara. This is part of the samsara. This is part of the game. So when you hear such things, you need to think, oh, I also have done these things to them, to people before, in my past practices. Now I am facing the consequences. So rather than accusing, the other people, okay, these people are doing this just like that, and that is not my fault. Rather than doing that, you can think of yourself. You can point finger towards yourself. So you put the blame on your own karma, my own karma. That's why I am getting this kind of negative vibes today, negative gossips about me. That is my own sansaric karmic energy. So that you actually, at least by thinking that way, you're not doing any bad karma, you're not generating any bad karma anymore. If not, what happens to us, like we always try to blame the other people. They said all the wrong things about me, they spread all the gossip about me, and so I get angry, and I also try to generate more angry remarks, maybe, or even maybe physically, verbally, even mentally, you might feel like doing something wrong. This way, when you focus on yourself and reflect your own past karmic energy, because of that you are getting this kind of things. From that point onward, you are not doing anything wrong. At least let the other people do, we can do anything about that. If they say negative things about you, that's up to them, you can do anything. So thinking thus, you can make your life much more meaningful. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Yathapi rahado gambhiro vippasanno anavilo evang dhammani sutvana vippasidanti pandita. Yathapi rahado gambhiro, just as a deep and clear lake. Okay, yatha is just as. Rahado, gambhira. Gambhira is deep. Vippasanna, clear. Anavila is no, it is calm. And yathapi rahado gambhiro vippasanno anavilo, just as the deep and clear lake is calm. Evang dhammani suttvana, just as that, having listened to the Dhamma, wise individuals who hear the teachings, vippasidanti pandita, become bright and tranquil. So many of us have this problem, tendency to become restless. So when you listen to the Dhamma, you become calm, you become tranquil, you become clear, just like a deep water. Deep water is clear, and also no shaking, just like like a lake which is clear, which is not shaking. And just like that, when you listen to the Dhamma, the Pandita people become their viewpoints become much more clearer, that is becoming more brighter. And over here, Sabbatave Sappurisa Chajanti Nakama Kama Lapayanti Santo Sukhena Putta Athava Dukhena Na Uchavachang Pandita Dasayanti. Later on, we can actually discuss if you have anything to discuss. For now, I will just go through the meaning. We can come back to the next session afterwards. So over here, Sabbatave Sappurisa Chajanti, virtuous individuals renounce all desires and do not chatter about sensual pleasures. The wise remain steadfast, whether touched by happiness or sorrow. We heard about a similar stanza before as well. Over here, Sabbatha, everywhere. Sappurisa. Sappurisa means virtuous individuals, good Kalyana Mitta friends. Chajanti, renounce, give up. Kama kama, desires. Kama kama. Kama is desire. So, na kama kama lapayanti santo. Do not chatter. Na lapayanti. Na, do not chatter. Santo is also virtuous people or Kalyana Mitta friends. Also here, sensual pleasures is kama. And virtuous individuals renounce all desires. Remember in the Karaniyametta Sutta, we have Dittincha Anupagamma Silava Dasanena Sampanno Kamesu Vinayagedhang is mentioned. So the person who practices metta, they also should have no dogmatic views, and they should have a good right view, and then silava, virtuous, and kame suvinaya. So the desires, we have to get rid of the desires. We have to get rid of those sensual pleasures. Then you have a better chance to go upward journey towards your spiritual goal. Sukhena puttha atava dukhena. Sukhena is happy, and dukhena is the suffering. So happiness and sorrow. Puttha means touched. So whether you are touched by happiness or sorrow, na uchavachang pandita dasayanti. Uchavachang means up and down. Those pandita people, those wise people will not become like up and down. They will be steadfast. They will be consistent. They will be firm and established. The wise remain steadfast, whether touched by happiness or sorrow. So this again is a very helpful gatha. Na atta hetu, na parassa hetu, na putta miche, na danang, na rathang, na ichche adhang me na samidhi mattano sasilava panyava dhammiko siya. Na atta hetu and parassa hetu. So atta hetu and para hetu. That means so personal or the others benefits. Personal benefit and others benefits. Na putta miche, na dhanang, na rathang. Puttang iche, na puttang iche does not desire puttang, children, dhanang, wealth, or rathang, country, or land. Na ichcheya adhang me na samidhi mattano. Such a person, they do not desire those things with adhamma, like unlawful ways or unethical ways. They do not desire such things. And silava panyava dhammikosya. Such a person embodies virtue and wisdom. Panyava, silava. So such is the virtuous person. Such is the wise person, and such person is a dhammiko, a virtuous person. You see, all these qualities are kind of mutually helpful to each other. They are like-minded phenomena that go together, that merge together, that can incorporate well, that can coexist well. They can be merged easily. Okay. The other gatha, appakate manusesu ye jana paragamino athayang itara paja tira mevanu dhavati. Few people among humanity truly cross over to understanding, while the majority remain stuck on this side, merely running along the shore. Appakate manusesu. Appaka means less, few people. Ye jana paragamino. Paragami means crossing. Those people who cross over to the Nibbana, those who go to the other side of the sansaric shore, and they are definitely less in number. Athayang itarapaja tira mevanu dhavati. While the other people, itarapaja means the other people, remaining people, most number of people, vast majority of people, tirang eva anudhavati, they will come to this side, or they will just walk alone or run alone the shore only. They will not go to the other side of the shore. So most number of people are just running around or beating around the bush, while very few people, very few wise people would cross over to the other side of the sansaric ocean. Yechako sammadakkhate dhamme dhammanuvattino tejana paramessanti machu deyang suduttarang. Yechako sammadakkhate, those who practice the well-proclaimed sammadakkhata. Akkhata means akkhatara tathagato, means also like well said, well proclaimed. Sammadakkhate means well proclaimed. Dhamme, the Dhamma. Dhammanuvattino means those who live according to the Dhamma or practice the Dhamma. Those who practice the well-proclaimed Dhamma is the meaning. Yechako sammadakkhate dhamme dhammanuvattino. Te jana paramessanti. Te jana, those people. Parang essanti. They will be the people who would cross over to the next shore. Machu dheyang suduttarang. Machu dheyang suduttarang. So the difficult realm of death. Machu is marana or death. Suduttarang means duskara or duttara is difficult to cross. Duttara. Suduttara means even more difficult to cross. So those people would cross over this difficult realm of death. Machu deyang suduttara. So when somebody practices the Dhamma, well-proclaimed Dhamma, they can successfully cross over this difficult path of death or realm of death, that they can become deathless. They can attain the Nibbana, the enlightenment with no death. Amatang padang is the word that is used for Nibbana. Amatapada is deathless state. That is the Nibbana, where there is no death, no birth, no sorrow, no unhappiness, no sickness, nothing. That is the Amatang Padang, that is the Nibbana. Then we have Kanhang Dhammang Vippahaya Sukkang Bhavetha Pandito Oka Anokang Agam Viveke Yatha Duramang. Kanhang Dhammang. Here Kanha means dark. Vippahaya means given up. Kanhang Dhammang Vippahaya, having given up the dark state or dark Dhamma. Sukkang bhaveta pandito. Pandito, wise person. Sukkang bhaveta is bhavana, you know. Bhavana means meditation. Bhaveta means should develop. The wise person should develop. Sukkang. Sukka is brighter or white. Oka anokang agama, having gone from home to homelessness. Oka anokang agama. Viveke means in solitude. Yatha duramang, difficult to delight. Ramati means to delight. Duramati means not delightful. So difficult to delight, and difficult to delight is the solitude. We always like company. We want to, chit chat with friends. We want to be in the company. We want to have a lot of followers. We want to have a lot of fans. All these things are there with those people who are not interested in solitude. But the one who is interested in solitude will have this path. Like they can go from home to homelessness, where there are no bondages, no attachment, no sorrow, no suffering, nothing. So that is the difficult path, difficult to delight. That is what the Bodhisattva did at the age of 29 when he renounced the worldly life, Abhinikkamana. So it became Mahabhinikkamana, a historic renunciation. And if he was living happily with his family, Princess Yasodhara and beautiful Prince Rahula, today you and I would not talk about the Buddha anymore. Today you and I talk about the Buddha. We are millions and millions of people today, and over the last 2500 years have been blessed by his wonderful teaching, because he renounces. He renunciated. He became from home to homelessness. He went from home to homelessness. He gave up all the comforts, all the luxuries of his life, and he chose to become a very humble, very simple person. That's how he became very different. He became a trendsetter, and today you and I can be benefited because of that. So that is the brighter side of this wonderful Dhamma. Tatra michcheya hitva kame akinchano paryodapeya attanang chitta klesehi pandito. One should seek to delight in that place, giving up sensual pleasures and all possessions. The wise one should purify the self of all defilements of the mind. So, tatra abhirati michcheya. You see, like it is very easy to have greed, desires, and giving up is not easy. Hitva kame akinchano, giving up the sensual pleasures and all possessions is not going to be easy. So if someone can seek to delight in that place, giving up sensual pleasures and all possessions, pariyodapeya attanam, that person can purify the self. Pariyodapeya. Pariyodapeya means can purify. Attanam, self. Chitta klesehi, from all the defilements. So someone can purify the mind or the self from all the chitta kilesas or defilements of the mind. That is the Pandita person. So we need to um, we need to think of these qualities like giving up, like renunciation. So when we observe precepts, for example, you observe precepts like vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. That is to give up the untimely food, right? Meal. So you need to start training yourself to give up that great desire for food, craving for food, craving all kinds of food, delicious food. That is the idea. And that's actually a training of giving up, training your mind to give up things. And so every now and then, I think at least once a week, you should try to give up that food craving. Food craving is one of the strongest cravings we have, apart from the kama tanha, those desires. This food craving is a big thing. And today the world is so full of all kinds of restaurants and all kinds of very fancy and fascinating and luxurious hotels and resorts and all these things to generate, to arouse our greed for food. And here we are trying to renounce that greed for food. And then the seventh precept is Nachagita Vadita Visuka Dasana Mala Gandha Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhosanatana. So giving up all beautifications and all entertainments. Once in a while you should do it. Once in a while you should not do any makeup. Once in a while you should be exposed your body to the nature, to the beautiful sun, to the beautiful the wind, the breeze. Let them touch the body. Your hair, your skin, your face, we should allow them to do that. And then also those entertainments, we should get rid of those things once in a while. It can really make us different people. That experience is completely different. That is why Buddhist community go to the temple on every full moon day to practice. They become humble, simple, down to earth. They practice that. That is a different experience altogether. So young and old people should try that. Not only old people, but also the young people should do that and feel that difference. That is completely a refreshing experience to all of you. And then we also have the eighth precept is as Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyam, like how to become simple and humble and sit on the floor, for example, to cut off our ego and stay closer to the Mother Earth. And also, it's a good, healthy habit, especially when we practice meditation. Sitting on the floor is one of the best practices to improve our samadhi. So these things are some of the trainings that we receive when we practice eight precepts. So remember that, like when you do it meaningfully, mindfully, you can gain a lot of benefits. Okay. Yesang sambodhyangesu sangma chittang subhavitang adana patinissagge anupadaya ye rata khina sava juti manto te loke parinibbuta. Those who have well developed minds. So samma chittang subhavitang. Samma subhavita, bhavita or bhavana is well developed chittang, mind. And those who have well developed minds regarding the factors of enlightenment. Okay, so Sambodhi Anga is factors of enlightenment. We know like the 7 factors of enlightenment, for example, Sati Sambodhyanga, Dhammavichaya Sambodhyanga, Viriya Sambodhyanga, Piti Sambodhyanga, Pasadhi Sambodhyanga, Samadhi Sambodhyanga, Upekha Sambodhyanga. These are the 7 factors of enlightenment. So these factors of enlightenment can help us develop our minds better. Sati can help us. Sati should be actually the thing in between. It is the connecting point. We need to have sati, and then from both sides we have samatha and vipassana. For example, Dhammavichaya and Viriya and Piti. Okay, these are the one. And then we have Pasadhi, Samadhi, and Upekha. So both samatha and vipassana practices are there when we pay deep attention to, serious attention to um, factors of enlightenment, sambojjhanga dhamma. That is why it helps us to develop our minds very well. So those who have well developed minds regarding the factors of enlightenment and adana patinisagge anupadaya yerata, those who have abundant grasping, adana patinisagga. Adana is to, grasping, like adinna adana, for example, adinna adana. So taking things not given. So adana or grasping. Patinisagga is abandoning. So have abundant grasping. So when we grasp things at the beginning, it's little bit okay, but after a while, you keep on grasping, keep on holding, keep on clenching, and the more you do it, the more painful it becomes. Thus, slowly and gradually, when you release the pressure, you become more comfortable. So, abandoning the grasping are truly wise things. Anupadaya yerata, without having any attachment. And kina asava juti manto, they become kina asava, kina asava. They become like avoid of all the asavas. Their final cessation, te loke parinibbuta. So kinasava is those who have abandoned or eradicated all forms of cankers, all forms of defilements, all forms of attachments. They become the Juti Manto, resplendent, brightly shining. And Te Loke Parinibbhuta, those are the people who have attained the Parinibbana, those who have attained the final cessation of this world. This is also a very powerful teaching again. So pay attention to the seven factors of enlightenment over here. So here, in essence, we have learned associate with wise persons who, like treasure revealers, show your faults constructively. So those people show us our loopholes, show us our mistakes, and that is like revealing of the treasure to us. We should associate such wonderful people. Um, Advice of persons pleases the virtuous and displeases the evil ones. In the second stanza, we learn when we are advised by those, instructed by those wonderful people, we feel happy. And if we are happy, the virtuous people are actually happy about that. But it displeases the evil ones. The unvirtuous people are not happy about that. Then associate not with the wicked and the evil. So we need to recognize whom to associate, whom not to associate. We should be smart enough to see the difference with good friends and the fake friends. Seek the company of noble and virtuous friends. A Dhamma lover dwells in peace and comfort, delighting in the noble teachings. If you are a Dhamma lover, that means you will definitely like the noble teaching. I am sure people here, they join this session today also because you love the Dhamma. You are delighted in the noble teaching. So you are a Dhamma lover. Dhamma piti sukhang seti. We can say about you if you still join us. The wise discipline themselves as irrigators water, fletchers arrows, and carpenters wood. Those beautiful metaphors, irrigators know how to divert the water and take the water to wherever they want. Fletchers know how to make arrow in such a way that the arrow can be reached to the desired destination. And the carpenters know how to deal with the wood and make a wonderful, marvelous, magical product out of that wood. Just like that, we should be smart, we should be wise, we should be pandita people to discipline ourselves. That is the idea here. Both in praise and blame, the wise are unshaken like the rock in the wind. So we have to be unshaken, unmoved with all the ups and downs in life, like those eight vicissitudes: labha, alabha, ayasa, yasa, ninda, pasansa, sukha, dukkha. Those are the eight vicissitudes we call Attaloka Dhamma. We have to be unshaken and unmoved, just like a rock in the wind. The Buddha's teaching makes the wise tranquil, like a fathomless lake, still and clear. So when you learn more and more about the Dhamma, we become more clear, more still. And then we have the wise are not elated or depressed by happiness or by pain. The wise do renounce all. So that is the wisdom. When you are able to renounce things, when you are able to give up things, that means you are showing some kind of wisdom. Because the more you are attached, the more you suffer. The more you are detached, the more you feel happy and relaxed and free. The wise will never do anything wrong for the sake of any gain whatsoever. So, if you are a wise person, you will not do anything wrong to gain anything. So, this is another wonderful teaching, wonderful reminder to us. Only a few cross over to the further shore, others run helplessly along the near shore. So, out of many, only few people can cross over to the nibbana side. All the others will run here and there in this side. By doing so many maybe dana sila bhavana, so many rituals, rites, and all these things, we will jump here, we will play around here, and we will do all our activities here helplessly. In fact, those who practice Dhamma and whose action is right will cross to Nibbana, the deathless. See, those people who practice the Dhamma and with that right the right view, when they know what to do and they can cross over to the Nibbana. And the Nibbana is a deathless state, amatang padam. Abandon unwholesome views, become homeless, and wisely strive for Nibbana. So, if you want to attain Nibbana, this is one thing you should practice. Like abandon unwholesome views, right view we need, and become homeless. Become homeless means not being attached excessively to things and people, and wisely strive for Nibbana. Nibbana means the state of complete absence of craving, all kinds of craving, all kinds of attachment, all kinds of desires. That is the complete absence of all of that is called Nibbana. The wise person purifies himself, being non attached, desireless, and by forsaking pleasures. So, this is the wise person. When you become a wise person, you should purify yourself and you are not attached and you become desireless, and you should be able to forsake or give up, abandon pleasures. And last but not the least, practice of the seven factors of enlightenment and non-attachment. This definitely can ensure uh, us to the nibbana. Okay. All right. So I hope this was helpful. And over here, we need to know how important it is for us to learn this Dhamma, to practice this Dhamma. And the key um, themes that we learn here is value of wise companionship, and role of guidance and correction, and self-control and discipline, and equanimity in praise and blame, and purity of mind, renunciation and detachment, the difficulty of the path, and attainment of enlightenment. So the Panditavagga, the Dhammapada, presents a comprehensive exploration of wisdom, virtue, and the qualities that characterize a wise individual in Buddhist thought. Each verse imparts essential teachings that serve as guiding principles for personal and spiritual development. I highly recommend you chant this chapter uh, again and reflect on these wonderful qualities about these key themes. For example, value of wise companionship. The opening verses emphasize the importance of surrounding oneself with wise individuals who provide constructive criticism. Like in the Mangala Sutta, you know, asevana cha balanang panditanang cha sevana, not to associate with foolish people. Last week we were talking about the foolish people, Balavagga. And then Panditanancha Sevana, to associate with the wise people. These are the two things that we definitely really pay attention to in our spiritual journey, because when we are surrounded by wise people, Kalyanamita friends, good spiritually rich friends, then our journey becomes much more comfortable. But if you have a lot of negative emotions around, people with those negative emotions, people with those negative vibe, you need to think when they are there, it is so uncomfortable, uneasy, so much restlessness, so much panic, so that negative vibe, if you have with some people, you should know what to do. You should find the right way. So this Gatha reflects the Buddhist concept of Kalyanamita, good friends, underscoring that positive influences are crucial for spiritual growth. Then the role of guidance and correction. The text also highlights the value of advice and admonishment in the path of wisdom. Those who help others recognize their faults are portrayed as dear to the virtuous. This theme encourages humility and receptiveness to feedback as essential components of wisdom. Next theme is also self-control and discipline. This analogy of craftsmen, remember, like shaping their material, that underscores the necessity of self-discipline. Just as adequate or those irrigators guide water and carpenters shape wood. Um, so similarly, the wise individuals must cultivate self-control to navigate life skillfully and ethically. Equanimity in praise and blame. I think it's a very frequent thing that we have in our life. Ups and downs, praise and blame happen to us many times. So this metaphor of solid rock um, remains unshaken, emphasizes the ability of the wise to maintain equanimity amid external opinions, so that tadi, or equanimity, that unshaken nature of the mind, is a wonderful quality if you can cultivate. This quality is vital for spiritual practitioners who must navigate the dualities of praise and criticism without being swayed. Again, purity of mind, the verses likening wise individuals to a deep, clear lake highlight the clarity that comes from understanding the Dhamma. A pure mind, free from distractions and impurities. It is essential for spiritual insight and tranquility. So the entire Panditavagga is so full of precious gems we can see here. Renunciation and detachment. This also this stanza calls for the abandonment of sensual pleasures and attachment. Then it reinforces the Buddha's teachings of impermanence, anicca. So the Pandita person, the wise person, seeks joy in seclusion. Sometimes in your life you have to be secluded from, cut off from the rest of the world, and contemplate on yourself, recognizing the true fulfillment. Then it arises within you, from within, rather than from external possessions or experiences. Then the difficulty of the path, acknowledgement that few cross to the other side. Others show parangata, illustrates the challenges of the spiritual journey. It emphasizes the necessity of dedicated practice and adherence to the Dhamma to overcome the difficulties of existence. Last is the attainment of enlightenment. These concluding verses highlight this ultimate goal of wisdom, the attainment of Nibbana. That is all our final goal: liberation, Nibbana, emancipation, enlightenment. Those who have developed their minds according to the factors of enlightenment are portrayed as resplendent and free from the cankers of attachment. Remember, chitta kilesa, right? The seven factors of enlightenment. Then you can achieve liberation in this very life. So, in conclusion, I would say the Panditavagga serves as a really, really profound guide to the qualities of wisdom, panya, and sila, virtue. This entire chapter encapsulates essential Buddhist teachings, encouraging practitioners to cultivate wise relationships, self discipline, emotional equanimity, and deep understanding of the Dhamma. The verses remind us that wisdom is not merely theoretical knowledge, but a lived experience that transforms one's life, guiding individuals towards ultimate liberation. Okay, that's about the Panditavagga. I hope it was helpful. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We have here Shruti Joshi, Maria, Sujata Sirasat, Piokea, Eranga Fernando, Gudas Sachin, and Amaranta Arcadia, Julie Sangamita. Nice to see some of you, and Sheetal Gadling. And yeah, good to see you all. After a while, I see some of you have been very familiar names. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope it was helpful. I know it was a little bit longer, but I think because of the context here, I took a little bit more. I wanted to clarify it, analyze it, and hope it was helpful. And so, looking forward to seeing you with another Dhammapada chapter. I have already given the links of the rest of the chapters over here in the comments below. You can see in the description. and let me know how you see, how you feel, and how it was helpful to you. And if you find it useful and helpful, please share it with all your friends and all your good Kalyana Mitta friends. With that, we conclude today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. May you all be well, happy, healthy. Sukhi Digayuko Bhava. Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhi Tatta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.